Whenever you get UK visit visa, it's always, I would say most likely, because I don't know always, most likely is multiple entry visit visa. What it means, if you get it for 6 months, you can enter the UK multiple times. If you leave the UK, you can re-enter within that specific period multiple times. Hi, now probably you can hear me. Yeah, Muhammad, yes, great. It was my mistake. I kept it on mute. Yes, Kuram, yeah, great. So, this is, can hear now. Thank you. So this is about UK visit visa and how to get approval quick and easy and avoid refusal. So what I'm going to do in next 45 minutes, I'm going to share my 10 plus years experience dealing with UK visit visa. 10 plus years experience dealing with UK visit visa and everything about UK visit visa, how to get it quick and easy and avoid refusal. Very good morning one more time to everyone, and good afternoon if you are in the west part or east part of the world. My name is Yash Dubal from AYNJ Solicitors. I'm the director and senior associate. AYNJ Solicitors is 10 plus years experience, legal 500, multi-award winning immigration law firm in London. We have helped 4,000 plus clients and we have almost 1,000 plus reviews on Google and Trustpilot. And today is all about UK visit visa. Now, before we jump into this webinar, I just want to hear what one thing you want to take away from this webinar. What one thing will make this webinar success for you? So I want to invite your feedback, what you're looking for from this webinar today, and put it in your chat box now. And what I can do, I can tweak and twist this webinar to cover your points. That's what I want to do today. I don't want to just run through the simple slideshow and just whiz through it. And then you feel, but I did not get what I was looking for. I want to give you exactly what you're looking for in this webinar next 45 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, please share what you're looking for from this webinar. Just put it in the chat box now, please. So I know that I deliver this webinar in a way that's helpful for you. It's more important to honor your time and respect your time than my time, because there are many of you. If we multiply this 14, 15, 20 hours, it's big number with compared to just my 1 hour. Does that make sense? So I want to hear from you what you are looking from this webinar. What's one thing you want to take away so that this webinar will be a huge success for you, or worth investing your time today on this webinar. So please go on and then just submit your comment in the comment box. What do you want to hear from me today? What one thing you want to take away from this webinar by the end of it that will make you feel, wow, great, worth investing time with Yash Dubal today on this webinar? What is that for you? Please let me know. Because this is about UK visit visa, and I hope someone is not looking for British passport in this webinar. If you are, it's fine, but you might have to attend different webinars. So any comment, that'd be great. Safiq, good morning, guys. Akani, Veronica, I hope you can hear me still. I haven't received any comment yet. How can I change my visit visa to resident visa? Great, Mohammed. Look, you are the first guy. Thank you so much for at least, sharing. So you want to change your visit visa to resident visa. That means you are in the UK. Is that right? And now Mohammed is looking for how he can switch his visit visa in the UK to resident visa. Great question. Now, if I can share that, probably that will make Mohammed attending this webinar a success, right, Mohammed? So this is what I want to do. I mean, I just don't want to deliver what I want to deliver. I want to deliver what you want from this webinar. If that was to make sense, guys, let's do that. Information that will be useful to share with my short-term international students visa probably who have to come on UK visitor route. How can I come to UK and work? I'm from Morocco. So look, for Choruk, this might not be the best webinar to attend, because this Choruk is looking to come and work. It's not about visit visa, Choruk. This webinar is about how do you get visit visa so you can travel to the UK for a short period for its standard visit visa, family visit visa, business visit visa, medical visit visa, marriage visit visa. So there are various sort of category. A paid permit engagement, you can get a paid permit engagement where you can do and work as well. But if you are like entertainer and you are doing something for short term, you get this paid permit engagement visa. It's again visit visa, but then you can work. But again, it is for entertainers, right? Who is doing shows and all that. So unfortunately, visa UK. So I didn't understand what Safiki was to say. Study visa and student visa, which is easier? Everything is easy, Karam. Everything is easy as long as you know what you want, and you get exactly what you want if you know what you want, right? So you get to decide, Karam, what you want. Do you want to study in the UK? If you want to study, Karam, then go for student visa. If you just want to visit and just see the UK, visit your family if you have any family in the UK, or you just want to be a tourist in the UK, then go for tourist visa, which is a visit visa, of course. Then Khurram is asking, he wants to get tourist visa. What is the easiest way to get tourist visa? Khurram, this is the webinar for you. If you stick with me for 40 minutes, you will get to know how to get tourist visa, easy, quick, and try and avoid refusal as well. And then Erenma asking, how do I turn my visit visa to student visa? So good question. So I think just keep pouring your comments, guys. If you do put your comments, then I know what do I need to deliver in terms of my webinar. I just don't want to deliver something which is not useful for you. And if you are in the wrong webinar, I want to save your time. Say, okay, this is not for me. You may probably want to attend different webinar of mine. So Muhammad want to establish a small business. So what is the best visa? No, this is not the webinar for you, Muhammad. This webinar is about visit visa. But if you look at my different webinars, might be on YouTube, or if you look at my webinar calendar on my website, Muhammad, you might find different webinars. So I'm doing another webinar next week, which is about setting up your business and get work visa in the UK. So that might be helpful for you, Muhammad. It's next week, somewhere mid next week. If you check on my website, you will find if one of my team member is on this webinar, he or she will put a link to our webinar page where you will find the list of the webinars we are doing this month. And Muhammad, that might be useful for you. But anyways, look, if you want to stay here, Muhammad, for again 30-40 minutes, you might get some valuable information around getting UK visit visa, which has been a great challenge. Now, just for your knowledge, the largest application that the UK is getting is visit visa. Do you know that? So in UK, we get around few million visitors a year, few million. Number one visa applications for the UK, number one, the largest possible, few million visit visa applications every year. And at your surprise, there are few countries, and I'll just read it out loud for you. They have 70% of the entire refusal rate. Okay, just stay with me. I'll pull out those statistics for you very quickly. So I have statistics with me. Some countries, they get more visit visa refusals than other country, right? So I'll just read it out loud, those visit visa, those countries for you. So 60% refusals, right, covered. So there were like out of 1 million application, probably last year, 1 million application, there were 200,000 refusals on visit visa. 1 million application, 200,000 refusals. And can you believe 60% of those 200,000 fell into just 8 countries. 8 countries. 8 countries covered 60% of those 200,000 refusals. Do you want to hear those countries' name? If yes, just say yes in the chat box now, so you know which part of the world you fall for. So there are high risk country and there are low risk country for the Home Office. Okay, so there are high risk country, there are low risk country. So I have the statistics. I did some research before I did this webinar with you. So around 1 million application, 200,000 refusals, and out of those 200,000 refusals, 60% were covered by just 8 countries covered 60% of those refusals. Number 1, Nigeria. Number 2, Pakistan, India, Ghana, Algeria, Egypt, Turkey, and Bangladesh. Nigeria, Pakistan, India, Ghana, Algeria, Egypt, Turkey, and Bangladesh. These 8 countries covered 60% of refusal. We have 225 countries in the world applying for UK visit visa. These 8 countries covered 60% of UK visa refusal. So what I would suggest is these countries are high risk countries in a way. Or, of course, looking at, of course, the population, Pakistan, India, Nigeria, they submit more visit visa application and get more refusal. That might be a possibility as well. But when you submit applications from a developing country or a high risk country, you have to be more careful. And this is why you are here. I think I mean, the questions, I just had one question. Someone wants, okay, how can I get tourist visa easily? Probably Kuram. So Kuram wants to know how to get student visa quick and easy. So Kuram, this is a very relevant webinar for you. But I had few questions, how to switch visit visa into student visa or any other visa. Might not find this relevant, but I'll try and cover that in a minute, throughout this webinar. So bear with me. So let me go through this webinar because this webinar was more about focused on visit visa. So I'll cover that. And then I'll spare some time to answer and points you guys been mentioning in the chat box, right? Because this webinar is for you. Great. What will you get in this webinar? Number 1, we'll cover the eligibility requirement of the visit visa. Requirement. What is the requirement to qualify for visit visa? Number 2, the document requirement. Right? So what documents do I submit? This is like a grand question. What document I want visit visa? Should I keep balance of £10,000 in my bank account? Or should I deposit £20,000 to get the visit visa? Or should I keep more or less? Right? Confusion. So we'll cover the document, of course, in a very high level. I can't get into too much detail because, of course, we have very limited time. So number 1 is requirement. Number 2 is, of course, eligibility. Then we'll cover the document requirement. Number 3, we'll cover the majority refusal reasons. Why people do get refusals and how to overcome those refusals, right? Number 4, we'll do Q&A, live Q&A, right? So you guys will have opportunity to talk to me, right? You can ask your questions live and I will answer them right now on this webinar. So that will be number 4. And number 5, I will explain about our services if you are interested. And number 5 is optional. You don't need to hear me if you don't want to. It's up to you, right? This webinar is just to share my knowledge, experience, and expertise. And what happens once we do this webinar, it goes live on YouTube and will help probably thousands of you in future watch this and get the information and get the visit visa right. And then don't waste money, time, and energy getting the UK visit visa. It's easy. It's easy to get UK visit visa if you know how to do it. Okay, let's get into it straight. Here we are. Right, who can apply for the standard visit visa? Let's talk about the eligibility, right? Who can apply for the UK standard visit visa? Anyone from outside the UK, non-visa nationals. So there are 2 types of countries. One is visa national, one is non-visa nationals. So there are non-visa nationals, for an example, USA, Hong Kong, Singapore, right? Maldives, Australia, New Zealand. These country nationals, they don't need visa to enter the UK. They don't need to apply. They are non-visa nationals. Europe, right? Now Europe is not part of, UK is not part of Europe because of Brexit. Now, but so these people, they can carry their passport and they can enter the UK without obtaining visa from their country. So they are called non-visa nationals, right? So they don't need to get visa before they travel. However, when they enter the UK, they seek a permission at the port. So let's say if that's flying in at the Heathrow airport, in technical terms, they seek a permission to enter the UK, because when we are at the port, they are not in the UK, right? When they seek permission in the UK at the port, then they get permission, most likely yes, and they enter the UK as a visitor. They are non-visa nationals. If you are visa national, so everybody else is visa nationals, like Nigeria, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Algeria, Turkey, any other country, they need to take visa before they travel. So they apply at the local VFS office or any other office you have, local British High Commission, British High Commission. You apply for UK visit visa. You get that permission, that sticker on your passport for 6 months or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years visit visa. You get multiple visit visa, multiple entry visit visa. So whenever you get UK visit visa, it's always multiple entry. Remember this. This is very important information, guys. Let me just switch off this slide so you can see me better. Right. And the reason, I'm not wearing tie today because it's very hot in the UK. I'm in South London and it's very hot. So I've just chose not to wear my tie because it's very hot. Otherwise, I can't deliver it properly for you. So whenever you get UK visit visa, it's always, I would say most likely, because I don't know always, most likely is multiple entry visit visa. What it means, if you get it for 6 months, you can enter the UK multiple times. If you leave the UK, you can re-enter within that specific period multiple times. It's most likely, it's always, in most of the scenarios, 99% as far as I remember, it has been a multiple visit visa, multiple entry visit visa. You get 6 months, you get to enter the UK multiple times within the 6 months. So you don't need to get visas every time. It's not one-off. So UK visit visas are multiple entry. Now, once you get for 6 months, you may want, and if you are a frequent traveler, if you wish to travel the UK frequently, you can apply for a visit visa for 2 years, 5 years, or even 10 years. It doesn't mean you can stay in the UK for 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years. What it means, you can enter the UK and you must leave the UK within 6 months' time, and you re-enter throughout the period of 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years. So every time, every visit must not be longer than 6 months. Remember this. Any visit you do to the UK under visit visa must not be longer than 6 months. Are we clear on that? Does that make sense, guys? If follow-up question, just put it in chat box now, please. Does that make sense? If yes, just say yes. Because every tiny point I want to make it concrete, so it stays with you for a longer period, and you might be able to share this information, because there are a lot of myths, a lot of forums. You go online and you get wrong information. So I just want to hit it hard. It's a multiple visit visa. You cannot stay in the UK more than 6 months in one go. Make sure you travel accordingly. Of course, there are some concessions around COVID. If you genuinely cannot travel because of COVID, there are exceptions. You need to apply for exceptional assurance to the Home Office. If you don't apply, you might be considered as an illegal entrant. Don't do that, right? Don't become illegal in the UK. It's the worst thing for your immigration history, UK immigration history. Don't do that. Do not stay in the UK illegally, please. Never ever. Look, that's my professional opinion as an immigration lawyer. Do not stay in the UK illegally. That's my professional opinion. So you need to plan your journey. So when you enter the UK, within 6 months, leave the UK. That's how it should be. If you cannot leave the UK because of COVID situation, you need to apply for exceptional assurance. While I'm on exceptional assurance, I will answer the questions of few of the attendees. They said, oh, can I switch my visit visa into student visa? Can I switch my visit visa into resident visa? The reply, if you have been granted with exceptional assurance, if you have been granted with exceptional assurance, then there is a possibility you can switch your visa into a different category. And for that, you need to contact my office. And the reason I want you to contact my office, because I want you to speak with one of the lawyer and get a professional legal advice. I cannot provide a definite legal advice on this webinar, which might be very generic. And I do not want to create any trouble for your UK immigration history. So that's why I would say, if you have been granted exceptional assurance due to COVID, there is a possibility you can switch your visit visa, of course, while you are under exceptional assurance, into a different category. Is that helpful? Guys, somebody asked this question. This is the answer to your question. Just say yes in the chat box if you got the answers for your question, guys. Please do that. So that I know that I'm not speaking to myself, but to the audience. Did you get that answer? Someone asked me this question. If you are on this webinar, can you just say yes in the chat box now, please? Great. Please just say yes. It doesn't take too long, please. If you got the answer, say yes, and we move on. So that's exceptional assurance, visit visa. Who can apply? So non-visa nationals, they will apply from overseas for visit visa. What do you need to provide? Let's talk about the requirement. Shall we do that? Do we have people on the webinar here with me? Let's do a poll question so that I know you are here. Right, so multiple visit visa, multiple, right? Did I say something? Here is the poll question. Usually, UK visit visa is a multiple entry visit visa. Oh, it's true or false? UK visit visa is a multiple entry visit visa. True or false? Is that true? Yes? No? I think so. It's easy to press the button on the poll question, then writing something in chat box, right? What do you think? Yeah, it's true. 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 Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true. Great. Thank you. Let's go to slides. So yeah, we have attendees on webinar. So any non-visa national can apply for UK visit visa. Let's talk about eligibility and documents required. So I'll talk about eligibility first. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. Right? You have to have intention to visit. Right? Look, I am a lawyer who like to make things easy, not complicated. I am a UK immigration lawyer who wants to make things simpler and easier for everyone, right? This is how I want to work. So it's very easy. What is eligibility requirement? You have to have intention to visit the UK. Why do you want to visit the UK? You know your reason. You know your reason. You said, I just want to explore the UK as a tourist. I want to see London Bridge. I want to see Madame Tussauds Museum. I want to see Highlands in Scotland. Whatever it might be. I want to see my cousin. I want to see my friends. I want to attend a birthday party of my friend. Might be a marriage, somebody's marriage, maybe friend's marriage, relative's marriage. It can be anything. I want to see my, friend. I haven't met him for last many years. It can be anything. Does that make sense? Number one, it's simple as that. You do not need to cook up the reason, right? This is what I heard. I mean, you can imagine many million applications every year, visit visa. And there are many thousand agents around the world helping people to get UK visit visa. And they don't get it. Why don't they get it? Because they are trying to pretend. You don't need to pretend. It's so simple. You just tell the truth. Whatever the truth is, your truth. You don't need to lie. You don't need to make up things. It's so simple. Just be truthful. I want to visit the UK. I want to see how it looks like. Right? Intention to visit. Keep it simple. Keep it 100% truthful. It's fine. It can be anything. Right? Are you happy with that approach? If you do, then just say yes in the chat box now, please. If you are happy with this approach, if that makes easy, I'll tell you more tips how to get UK visit visa. It's so simple, guys. This is my aim. In this webinar, I want to make it so simple to get UK visit visa. It's not a rocket science, right? It's not a rocket science. Are you happy with this approach? Are you happy with that? Thank you. Karam, thank you. So simple. You tell the Home Office whatever your reason is. You do not need to make any reason. You don't need to get a fake or make up invitation letter from anybody. You don't need that. You don't need that. You just need a genuine reason and you'll be fine with that. That's my professional opinion as a lawyer based on my 10+ years experience. Okay? Just tell the truth, Veronica. Yeah, just tell the truth. This is why I want to see the school before I pay them the fees. And so I want to visit the UK. I want to see that before I pay them 15, 20, 50,000 pounds in my fees. I want to see them first. I want to meet the people there. And so I want to visit the UK. How hard could that be? So simple. Thank you. Now, once you pass through this intention, the number 2 requirement is you have to have funds to travel to the UK. Okay? It's again logical. If you have, let's say, 200 pounds in your account, just 200 pounds, whatever your currency is, you just convert that. If you're in India, it's around 20,000 rupees. And if you have 200 pounds in your account, and if the travel to UK, the ticket itself is 500-600 pounds, you can't afford that, can you? Right? No matter how strong your desire to the UK is, you can't afford. So you need certain funds in your account. You have to have access. It doesn't need to be in your account. Hello? It doesn't need to be in your account. You have to have access to the fund. How can you prove that? How can you prove that? So for an example, number 1, you said, look, I'm working. I have saved about 5,000 pounds or maybe 2,000-3,000 pounds, whatever it might be, doing this job in whatever the country I'm staying. And my wish and my desire is to visit the UK. So you need to just plan and calculate what is the tentative cost of your visit. Number 1 is travel ticket, absolutely. Right? So you need to figure it out. What does it cost? It might cost maybe 300, 500, 800 pounds. Put it on piece of paper. That's the travel ticket. Then where would you stay? You do not need to stay in 5-star hotel, or you might stay with your friend, which is fine, which is cheap, right? Cost effective. Just figure it out. How much would it cost for you to stay in the UK for those days, for a few days, maybe 15 days, 20 days, a month, whatever it might be. Find out what is that number for you. If you stay in a bread and breakfast, it's around 40-50 pounds a day. If you stay here for 15 days, it's another 750 pounds. Add that up. If you stay with your friend or family, then it doesn't cost you. Then you need a letter from your family and friend that they're happy to give you an accommodation while you were to stay in the UK for 15 days. On top of that, they need to provide evidence that they have the space to give you space. Let's say your friend is living in 1-bedroom apartment with his wife. How can he provide you space if he doesn't have space or she doesn't have space? So we need to you get into the detail. Does he have space? Does she have space? We need to provide evidence. You see, I'm going a little bit more detailed now, but it's all logical. It's very logical. You need to provide evidence. If you forget everything of this webinar, I want you to remember one thing. And that one thing is just be logical, right, with your approach. And number 2, provide evidence of whatever you are claiming. If you claim that you will stay with your friend, and if your friend is happy to give you accommodation for 15 days or a month, you need to get a letter from your friend that he or she is happy to provide accommodation. And number 2, we need to get an evidence that your friend has space to provide you that accommodation. Right? So again, it's logical, but you need to provide corroborating evidence. Where you might get wrong is finding that right corroborating evidence. because you haven't done the UK visit visa application probably for yourself, and you might get it wrong. You might. I'm not saying you will get it wrong. You might get it wrong. And this is why at times it's worth taking a professional legal advice. But again, look, guys, go logical. You know, whatever you're claiming, provide corroborating evidence which is credible. Credible, corroborating evidence. So you can't simply put a piece of paper from your friend, oh, I'm happy to sponsor Muhammad while he's visiting the UK 15 days. Anybody can print that letter, right? Anybody can print that letter. So what else can you add? What else can you add? Probably a passport copy of your friend, because it's not easy to get the passport copy. So get a passport copy, probably address proof, makes it more solid that your friend lives in the UK. How would Home Office know if you pull out the passport copy of a person, ABC, and say, oh, here is my friend, here is the letter? You might have made up. You might have made up everything. How would Home Office be confident this is a genuine sponsor? You see, again, I'm going logic. There is no hard and fast requirement. What should be the letter format? There is no hard and fast requirement, Ashik. There is no hard and fast requirement of a letter format. Letter can simply say, I'm happy for Ashik to stay with us for 15 days. I have accommodation and enough space, right, where Ashik can stay for 15 days. And that's it. And of course, it will be for free. I won't charge Ashik any money for that. That's it. It's so simple. But then Ashik, your friend, need to provide evidence that he or she is who he is by providing, let's say, passport copy, address proof. If he or she is renting the property, probably rent agreement, a letter from their estate agent that there is enough space, or a landlord that there is enough space, and landlord doesn't have any problem for Ashik to stay for 15 days, because the law in the UK is very strict. If the rent agreement is very strict, you can't bring in visitors or subletting and etc. Okay, it's so simple. It's very logical. So the law of the UK is slightly different. It's a cultural difference, and there is a difference in the way different countries work. So remember, you're trying to apply for UK visit visas. You have to try and understand the system of the UK, what is right system for the caseworker to assess your case. So we are getting into much more detail. So actually we were talking about financial requirement, and we got into this accommodation thing, but that is also part of the visit visa requirement. So going back, intention, expense, which is majority of it is a travel cost and accommodation, right? And then when you stay in the UK, you will have some sort of living expense. So when you are in the UK, you might have to pay for your food. When you travel tickets. When you're living, it's a couple of £100, right? So this is what you need to get. How much would you spend? If you go out and eat, might be £20, £15 each time. You might want to stay, let's say, for 15 days, £30 a day, 15 days, £450. You might do some shopping, maybe £500, another £1,000. So in total, if you do total, it's not more than £3,000-4,000 if it's a modest visit. If you do luxurious visit, visiting Harrods and purchasing high value item, very luxurious item, I do get those sort of clients. They just go and spend £20,000 in Harrods, right? Then of course you need more money. Simple as that. So it depends how you want to arrange your visit. You might do the travel through some travel agent, and they cover everything for you. It's one shot, and they cover your travel ticket, your living expense, your itinerary, everything, right? Then whatever the package is, simple. So number one is intention, whatever is intention for you, which is legit and genuine. Number two, expense, financial requirement. Do you have that money, right? And number three is accommodation. So I've covered accommodation. You can, of course, book a ticket, book a hotel on booking.com. Guys, you might know booking.com. Just type booking.com on Google, you will find it. So you can reserve your place there, and you can say, that's the place I'm going to stay. And if you don't get the visa, you can cancel that, because you don't want to waste your money. If you don't get the visa, why would you pay for the hotel? So you can book in advance, and if you don't get the visa, you can cancel that. So booking.com is the right place. But if you do booking.com, if you don't have any friends, family in the UK, Go on booking.com, find out the place you can afford, right? Book that place and get that confirmation. This is where I'm going to stay. So your accommodation is sorted, you see? This is how you sort out your accommodation, because that's one of the requirements to get the visit visa. Number one requirement is intention. Number two requirement is have adequate finances. Number three is accommodation. Have adequate accommodation while you're visiting the UK. So accommodation comes from family, friends. It can come from the hotel booking. Now going back to finances, because this is very crucial. This is where majority of visitors get refusals. What Home Office normally allege, we don't believe you have enough funds. Standard, very, very, very standard refusal. We don't believe you have enough funds to afford your visit to the UK. Very standard refusal. Why do we get that? Thanks to the agent overseas who are not qualified to advise, or probably not experienced enough to advise, right? And they say, oh, how about you just put like £20,000 in your account? Don't do that. You do not need to inflate your account. You do not need to make up things. You don't need to do that. Just be genuine. You can say, yes, but I have just £3,000 in your, it's fine. I'm coming to that point, Erin Ma. How do you show you have enough funds? I'm coming to that point. This is the point. This is the most important point I'm covering on this webinar. To get a UK visit visa, Erin Ma. Okay? This is the most important. How do you show you have enough funds? Right? Two possibilities. Either you have funds or you don't have funds. Either you have funds or you don't have funds. If you don't have funds, someone can sponsor that. Does that make sense? You don't need to inflate your funds when you don't have funds. Don't do that. If you try and inflate your funds when you don't have it, you will be refused with an allegation that this is made up. And if they allege that it's made up, it's your genuineness that's being questioned. Your credibility is being questioned. You see the point? It's not about funds. It's about credibility. Don't do that. Do not get your credibility into question when you do visit visa application. This is the key to success. Key to success of UK visit visa is credibility. Number one. Number one success for UK visit visa is your credibility. Do not lose your credibility, no matter what. If you lose your credibility, you will not get visit visa. So how do you maintain your credibility? Just be honest, be transparent, be truthful. Don't make up things. Don't make up things if it's not true. You don't need to make up your bank balance. You don't need to. Just be genuine. You might be doing a modest job. You might be doing a modest business with compared to the UK, right? But you have funds. You have accumulated, let's say £3,000, £5,000. It is a modest fund with compared to the UK economy. But you have a desire to visit the UK. If you have desire to visit the UK, they cannot stop you. If you meet the requirement, of course. Let's focus on the point. How do you show you have enough funds? Number one, bank statement where there is a regular saving, right? Regular balance. If your balance is going up and down, 1 month is, let's say, £100, other months is £10,000, then it goes down to £200, then £5,000, then again £500, then again £10,000. Doesn't look right. Does it look right to you? If it doesn't look right to you, it doesn't look right to the Home Office. When I say Home Office, is the immigration officer who is assessing your application. Make sure if it looks right to you, it will look right to them. Now you said there is a reason why it's going up and down, then provide the explanation. When you provide explanation, you need to provide credible, corroborating evidence. You can't simply say, oh, because of X, Y, and Z, my fund is going up and down. No, it can't work. Anybody can make stories, right? So any explanation you do, it has to be backed up by the corroborating credible evidence. Corroborating credible evidence. What it means, whatever you say, provide consistent evidence and credible enough. For an example, you are doing a business. When you are doing a business, the bank balance goes up and down. Your accountant can write a letter. Accountant is a third party. It's not you. Accountant is a third party who can write a letter explaining your earnings average every year. And if you are a self-employed or a business person, then I'm sure you are providing a tax return to your tax authority. Provide that. That's independent. That's credible evidence and it's independent. Accountant's letter and tax document. Now, if you have enough funds, like bank statements, good. If you don't have enough funds in your bank account, then how would you support your visit? Oh, but my sister is helping me. Great. Get your sister's bank statement then. And a letter from your sister that she's supporting your visit. Address proof of your sister. Passport copy of your sister. Right? And again, in her bank statement, it should be consistent. And her salary, her earnings, your sister's earnings, if your sister is sponsoring you. Now, let's say your sister is making £200 a month and she's supporting you £10,000. It doesn't make sense. When your sister is making £200 a month earnings, why would she give you £10,000 or £5,000? Doesn't make sense. Right? But your sister is making, let's say, £3,000 a month or has a very big savings maintained for last 6 months or a year. She is having, let's say, £20,000 in her account maintained for 6 months, and say, you know what, I'll give my brother or my sister £2,000 out of £20,000 because he or she wants to visit the UK. Bingo, great. Get 6 months bank statement, passport copy, address proof, a letter from sister. Great, done. Good, right? So that's finance. Again, going back to the question, how do you show enough funds? 6 months bank statements, letter from accountant if you are in business, if you are doing a job, 3 months pay slips, 3 months bank statements where you are getting salaries, incoming salary slips, because in UK, when you get salary, you get mostly in the bank account. So it corroborates with the pay slips and the net salary goes into account. This is how the UK system works. So when someone is, assessing your application, they expect that way. But some countries, I do acknowledge, they get cash salary. If you're getting a cash salary, we need a letter from the employer that we pay cash salary, right? So it might not reflect into your bank account because you get cash and you spend cash, because there are a lot of cash economy outside the UK. It's a pure cash economy. It's fine. You don't need to worry about that. That's how you live your life, right? So you can't change it overnight just to get UK visit visa. So again, that needs to be explained, and this is where the application get complex. Right? We good with that? So what we have covered so far: intention, potential expense, finances, how to support your finances, including sponsorship as well. This is an accommodation. This is what we have covered so far. Last, not the least. And again, there are many refusals around this point. And this is the last point. After that, I will of course explain some of the document you need to submit, and then we have covered most of the reasons of refusals, but we'll cover a little bit in depth. Then we'll go Q&A very quickly. The last, the most important point, right? Very important point to get a UK's visit visa is your intention to leave the UK once you finish. So when you get a UK visit visa, you need to demonstrate that you will leave the UK. You are not coming to UK to live forever. This is a short visit. Whatever your reason. It can be medical visit. It can be business visit. It can be tourist. Yes, Emmanuel, I can hear you. Hello. Hi. So it can be any intention, but it is a short visit. Once you finish the visit, you're supposed to leave the UK. You need to convince the Home Office, you need to convince the immigration officer that you will leave the UK after you complete the visit. How can you do that? That's your question. Your question is, how can you do that? So what I will do, I will ask you a question. Why would you leave the UK? You tell me the reason. I didn't need to make up the reason for you. You tell me the reason, right? Let's pick one. Who will be the volunteer? I want a volunteer on this webinar who can explain me. Let's say who wants to get a visit visa. I think so. Erenma, you ask me question. How do you show you have enough funds? Do you want to get visit visa? Erenma, do you want to get UK visit visa? Do you want to just help us to help me explain this point to the audience today? Who can help me? Just say yes and I'll ask you a question and we'll run a scenario live on this webinar to make a point strong, loud and clear so that everyone, you clear. Who can help me? Just say yes in the chat box and we'll just, all right, great. Erenma wants UK visit visa, okay? Erenma here wants, and Martin also wants UK visit visa. Bab also wants UK visit visa, okay? So I'll ask all of you a question. All of you, Peter, okay, answer me, okay? You tell me, all of you tell me, why would you leave the UK after you finish your UK visit? Yeah, you answer this question in the chat box now and we make it loud and clear. This is the single most and probably the biggest refusal reason I have seen in my career. Single most, the biggest refusal reason I have seen in my career for last 10 years. I want to hit it very hard on this, right? You tell me, right? Karam, Adebayo, Martin, Peter, Muhammad, Bab, Erenma, you tell me, why would you leave? Genuinely, you know, from your heart. You don't need to make up things. Guys, look, this is the one thing. Remember one thing. You do not need to make up anything to get UK visit visa. Just be honest, transparent, credible. Credibility is the key to success. If you want UK visit visa, credibility is the key. Everything is about credibility. Okay, just keep putting your faith. Why would you leave? Whatever is coming from your heart, right? Just tell that truth, right? Tell that truth, right? And we'll work with that. We'll work with your truth. Your truth is your truth, right? It cannot be my truth, right? It cannot be Home Office's truth. Your truth is your truth. Great. So let's focus on first. Karam is saying, I have a family in my country. Brilliant. You have a family to go back to. Right, Karam? If you say you have a family, you need to provide evidence. See, so now you got a reason to work on. You need to provide what? You need to provide what? Corroborating, credible evidence. So, Karam, if you are saying you have a family in the UK, in your country, you need to provide evidence. You might have spouse. You might have children. How would they know that you have this family to go back to? Right? So they probably their passport copies. If your children are studying in school, get a letter that they are studying. Why am I going too far? The reason I'm going too far, we need to prove that your children are there, their birth certificates. But if you provide their birth certificate, doesn't prove that they are in your country. Probably letter from schools. Oh, they are going to school. Oh no, this guy is genuine family man. Okay, this guy is a genuine family man. He has a spouse or a partner. He has children. Children are going to school. The spouse is probably working. Letter from their employer, they're working. There is a house. There are utility bills. Yeah, when you live a life, when you have a family, there is a lot of evidence. Provide all those evidence. Look, visit visa is a very subjective application. Somebody was asking, what is the letter format? What are the document list? There is no specific list. It's very subjective. Think logical. If you say you have a family, you think what evidence can you provide to prove your family in your country? Think about anything and put that. That will help you to prove that you have a family to go back to after you finish your visit. Good with that? Emmanuel said, I am a businessman in Nigeria. Great. How would I know? How would the Home Office know, Emmanuel, that you are a businessman? Get a letter from accountant, credible source, corroborating evidence. Emmanuel is owning a business. His turnover is this. He's working in this for so many years, right? That's what he's doing, right? That's his earnings, turnover, profit. Great. Tax document. You're submitting your tax document. Tax document from tax authority. Brilliant. What else can you provide to prove your business? Do you have a website? Put your website there. Print out your website page. So this is my business. Credible business. You need to provide a business bank statements, Emmanuel, right? You can say, look, here is my 6 months bank statement. I'm a genuine businessman. What else can you provide to prove you are a genuine businessman, Emmanuel, in your country? If you don't provide evidence, you cannot blame the Home Office to refuse your application, can you? You cannot blame the Home Office if you don't provide evidence. How would they know that you are a businessman? Emmanuel, I'm not picking on you. I'm just making my point very loud and clear. Erenma is saying, I have a school to attend to. Okay, get a letter from school that Erenma is studying here from this period, and she is having a vacation from this period to this period, and she's supposed to join the school back on this date. Great. Credible evidence, corroborating evidence. Do you agree? It's credible evidence and it's corroborating evidence. Erenma, that works for you. Great. Now, what else? Let's look at the other reasons. Someone is saying, I got a job to do in my country. I have a strong economic and family ties. That is AM Zahed. Get a letter from your employer that AM Zahed is working with us for so and so period. This is his position, right? And of course, AM Zahed, if you want to visit, you need to take a leave. You need to take annual leave. You need to get your leave authorized, your holidays authorized by your employer, right? Get that confirmation from your employer. Said, we authorize AM Zahed his annual leave or holidays for 15 days, and he's supposed to join the job back on so and so date. Letter from employer AM Zahed for you. 3 months pay slips, 3 months bank statement corroborating with your pay slips. Bingo. That's what your reason is. That's a corroborating credible evidence. Happy with that? Right. So we have Peter. I would leave the UK after because I have a job as a legal practitioner in Nigeria. I have to go back to continue work. Besides, I'm qualified to practice law in the UK, so I have to go back. I'm not qualified. Look, Peter, let me say something about it. Focus on why would you go back. Let's not focus on why would you stay or would not you stay. Focus on why would you go back. Now, this message is for everyone on this webinar, right? Focus on why would you go back. Your job, brilliant. Letter from employer, pay slip, bank statement, done. Right? When you get a letter from employer, confirm how long have you been working with them, what's your position, what's your salary, and your annual leave confirmation that you have a confirmed annual leave for 15 days and you're supposed to go back to work after you finish your annual leave. Property. If you have a property, get valuation. How would they know you have a property? So I have 5 properties worth £5 million. How would I know? Get credible, independent evidence, corroborating evidence, credible, corroborating evidence. Brilliant. I think so. We made it very loud and clear on this. Let's go back to slides one more time if we have something left there. Great. So what we have done, non-comprehensive list of document. And what I did just now, I've covered all this for you. So you are coming to do a permitted activity, right? So a permitted activity is a standard visit, tourist visa, business visit, medical visit, or marriage visit visa, or there are various categories, right? You will leave the UK end of your visit. We covered very comprehensively here on this webinar. You are able to support yourself and any dependents for the duration of your trip. Again, that's very subjective to you. So if you are visiting yourself or you're visiting with your family, you need to calculate your cost and find out what is that number for you. And you have to have those funds available to you to spend while you are visiting. You are able to pay for your return or onward journey. We covered that, like flight ticket, right, relating to your visit, and we covered accommodation as well. How to apply for a UK visit visa? It's very simple. You collect and collect all the information and document I've explained for last 30 or 40 minutes on this webinar. complete the form online, and you pay online fees, which is £96 for 6 months, and you apply online. Simple as that, right? It's not complicated. How do you avoid refusal? I want to cover this in detail, little bit more, one more time, because it's so much painful for me when I see this refusal. People losing their money, not once, twice, thrice. And it's not just about money. It's about their time, their energy. And the most important is this frustration. The frustration, I have seen frustration from business people. They are doing so well in their country. All they want to do is just visit the UK. That's all they want to do, and they're not getting UK visit visa. That's the frustration. And that's more painful to me. Why cannot they get visit visa? Right? So let's talk about it. How can you avoid? Disclose material fact and information. Number one reason. When you complete the application, please don't rely on your agents. Do not rely on your agent. You have to read the application form yourself. You need to read the application form yourself and just provide factual information. If you can't read English, ask someone to read that for you and translate that for you before you complete the application. Disclose material fact and information, what it means. Have you ever been refused UK visit visa? If you did, just say it, that you've been refused, when, what, and if you can't remember, just say I was refused, and I remember it was 10 years back. Just say that. Disclose material fact and information. If you're criminal conviction, just say that. But I won't get the visit visa. But you will not anyways get the visit visa if you don't mention. If the government finds you did not disclose material fact or information, you will be refused visit visa with an allegation of deception. Your credibility gone. Remember one thing I asked you, credibility is the key to success. Credibility is the key to success. Never ever lose the credibility with visit visa. If you lose the credibility, you will not get the visit visa. Just be truthful. If you are in doubt to include the information or not, just include the information. One more time. If you are in doubt to include or not, just include. By providing more information, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Okay? Provide corroborating evidence. What do I mean by that? Oh, I have a friend who will help me, who will provide me accommodation. And what you do, you just provide a letter from your friend. Hello? Anybody can prepare that letter. It's not corroborating any evidence enough. I've explained that in much more detail. Right? So provide corroborating evidence. If your friend is supporting you while you're visiting, passport copy of your friend, address proof of your friend, address proof, bank statement for last 3 to 6 months of your friend, property document of your friend, rent agreement, letter from their landlord or estate agent confirming that they are fine with your temporary stay for 15 days. You see, I'm putting too much, but that is corroborating credible evidence. The question is, do you want visit visa or not? If yes, then you need to provide all this. You improve the chances. There is no hard and fast requirement. There is no hard and fast requirement, but you improve the chance. Take a common sense approach. When it comes to subjective requirement, I've explained that in much more detail previously. And you know what? Last but not the least, just read the immigration rule and policy guidance or seek professional advice. Simple as if it doesn't make sense, just go to professional. How long does it take to get a UK visit visa? There are super premium service available in some countries. You pay extra fees and you might get the visit visa in 24 to 48 hours. They charge higher fees, but they give a decision within 24 to 48 hours. And normally otherwise 2 to 4 weeks. That's my experience. Now we'll do Q&A very quickly for 5 minutes. We have overgone the, we did overdo a little bit. So I'll do 3 questions, 2-3 questions, and then we'll move to the conclusion of this webinar, if that's okay with you. I'm taking 5 more minutes. If that's okay with you guys, just 5 more minutes, and we'll conclude this webinar if that's okay with you. Let's just Emmanuel's question. While I'm waiting for 2 more questions, I'll do 2 more questions, and then we'll make a move. Let me just close this slide, and I'll do 3 questions in total. First question is Emmanuel's question. What if you were refused over 10 years and you don't have access to the refusal letter again and your information already changed? Do you still have to disclose that? Emmanuel, yes. The answer to your question, Emmanuel, is yes, you need to. Because if you read the application form, Emmanuel, and everybody else on this webinar, if you read the application form, the question is, have you ever been refused? The question is, have you ever been refused a UK visit visa or a visa for any other country? And the trick is never lose the credibility. So you ought to disclose this. Now, if you don't remember month, time, year, if you don't have the copy of refusal, what would you do? As far as I remember, I was refused on so and so month and year. I don't have access to the refusal copy. Just say that. Be factual. Be truthful. Just say yes. And whatever the information you can provide, just provide that. Number 2 question. Question from Safiq Saeed. What are the chances of getting visit visa during the COVID pandemic? Would you suggest to apply for visit visa nowadays? To reply to this question, Safiq, I will say, do you need UK visit visa? Safiq, that's my question to you. What is your reason? Why do you want to visit the UK during COVID? If you have a good reason, why not? Just apply. Home Office has not stopped accepting application. UK is opening up now, right? UK is opening up post-COVID, right? And post-Brexit, UK is inviting visitors from all around the world as long as they are a genuine visitor. So to answer your question, Safiq, I don't see any reason why you cannot apply, number 1. And number 2, you get to answer me, why do you need UK visa during COVID? You might have a good reason to do that. If yes, do it. Like, okay, so there is a question from Erenma, and that's been answered by Veronica. Veronica put the link of government website. Veronica, thanks for that. Erenma, you can visit that link as an answer to your question. I'll just do one more question and that's it. And then we'll move to the conclusion of this webinar, if that's okay with you. Is a bank statement from a salary earner enough proof as a proof of fund? Is Edibio, is bank statement from a salary earner enough proof as a proof of fund? It depends how much balance do you have, Edibio, in the bank account, right? So bank statement from a salary earner, it's good, of course, because you'll be provided, let's say, 3 to 6 months pay slip, 6 months bank statement, right? And that corroborates with your net salary entering into your bank account. Bingo, that says, look, you are getting a consistent earning in your country. You have a consistent job, good job. That's a good evidence. And then you have to have enough funds. And that, what is that enough funds? We don't know today, because you need to calculate yourself, how much would it cost for you to visit the UK? If you have that funds, then it's good enough. Consistent balance is very important, right? Now, last one, I got a visa to the UK 3 times, but for 2 times I don't go. Will it affect if I apply now? Mohammed, it's fine. So you applied for a visit visa, you did not visit 2 times, right? So the question is, why did not you visit? Explain that. When you apply next time, just be credible, right? Be truthful, Mohammed. Simple. I've got visit visa twice, so and so month and year. Unfortunately, I could not travel because your reason. Now I want to visit your reason, whatever your reason. I want to visit now, blah, blah, blah. So whatever it is, right? Thank you so much. I'll conclude the Q&A. I'm sure you might have more questions for me. What I will do is I'll give you an email address so you can drop your more questions to that email. And one of my team members will happy to help you with that. Let's move on. Let's move on to the webinar start. What do we have next is a success story. And this is the best part of my webinar. And what I do is I run a small video testimonial. Is that okay if I show you 60 minutes of a video testimonial? If you say yes, I'll be very honored and I'll be very joyful to share that success story, which we have been curating over last 10 years at AY and Just Solicitors. Would you mind if I just run that 60 minutes of testimonial with you guys? Is that okay with you? Would you give me 60 seconds? Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you.
My name is Harish Rane.
My name is Anand Patel.
My name is Steve Barr.
They really care. When we reach out to them, they understand the moment of urgency.
They were completely different and they made me feel reassured.
After talking with them, it made me feel safe and confident.
AYJ sounded like they knew what they were talking about.
They've been in tune with your requirement. They understand what your needs are.
It's their professionalism. It's the personal touch. They've made me feel that it was no longer my problem.
Really smart and think logically. That's very important. And their logic is very clear.
They have stepped up each time there has been a requirement and have just delivered.
That level of care, that level of attention to detail and willing to go out of the way really surprised us.
AYJ solicitors are a cut above the rest. They knew exactly what they were talking about. They knew the law inside out.
Right. Thank you so much for being with me almost 1 hour. I hope I did not bore you with my lecture. I hope it was helpful for you. Before we, what is next is of course explaining our services. Again, as I said, is very optional. Do you want me to explain that very quickly in probably 10 seconds about how we help people to get UK visit visa? If you are interested, just say yes in the chat box now. If I get probably 2-3 years, I'll just quickly explain in 15 seconds. And then I want to give you a gift from me to you for being with me almost 1 hour. I'll quickly explain in just 10 seconds. It's not too complex. Yeah, thank you so much. If you are interested, here it is. So what we do, we provide one-stop solution, getting UK visit visa. We charge between 1,500 to 3,000 pounds, where we provide complete hand-holding support. We help you with the document checklist. We'll help you collecting right documents. If document is not right, we'll help you why it's not right. And we complete application form, submit, prepare legal representation. We'll do literally everything for you in these fees. But it ranges between 1,500 to 3,000 pounds. That's everything. Now, if you prepare yourself, and if you just want us to check and provide you legal opinion, then it's checking service is 500 pounds. If you want to arrange a consultation, asking few questions up to 60 minutes, is 300 pounds. Now, some part of the word is a very high investment. Some part of the word it's not, but I would respect that. That is what we can afford as of now as a immigration law firm based in the UK, right? So I appreciate whether you cannot do it. It's perfectly fine. There is a lot of free information on my website, and there is a lot of free webinars I do, the one I've done today, and I hope I did provide value to you with nothing in return as expectation. I did not expect anything out of this webinar. It was just out of my true wish to help people to get the UK visit visa. Okay. If you contact us, we'll be happy to help. If you don't, all the very best. I hope you will find a solution. Now, what is AYJ Solicitors? We are a multi-award winning legal 510 plus as experience specialized UK immigration law firm. 4,000 plus clients we have helped, and almost 1,000 plus reviews on Trustpilot and Google. If you are ready to take some action, achieve your goal visiting the UK, I would suggest you just drop us an email, I would say, right? And here is the website. If you go on this website now, you will find on the top of the website, there is a WhatsApp number. There is an email address as well. If you visit this website now, on the top of the website, there is an email address, which is contact@ayjsolicitors.com. And there is a WhatsApp number as well. So either you can WhatsApp us, or you can drop us an email, whatever is good for you. So I will copy the email address now. Here we go. And I will also copy the WhatsApp number for you as well. But if you go on website, you will find the WhatsApp number quickly and easily. That's the WhatsApp number. I'll try and copy that for you. Here is the WhatsApp number. So either WhatsApp us or drop us an email. Guys, hope that helps. Thank you so much being with me, and I hope this webinar of some use to you today. Visit my website and just contact us if you need to. All the very best. Thank you so much for being with me. All the very best. Visit the UK. Visit the UK. Enjoy your time in the UK. Goodbye.